Hi, Iman. How are you? Can you guys just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Okay. Okay, so I'm assuming the heart emoji means hi. So you can hear me. I had a little bit of problem with the volume earlier on. Okay. So I'm going to get started. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Iman. It is definitely nice to hear that at the end of a long day with the kids. But thank you very much. And I just want to say I'm really glad that I'm able to do this. I know that so many of you, hi, Bethany. I'm really glad that I'm able to do this because I know that a lot of you asked me last month to do it, but it was so busy with our Canadian National Training Conference. That I wasn't able to hop on and do this. So I just wanted to do it tonight. And yes, before the kids went to, after the kids went to bed, just because it's too loud with my three kids. So I wanted to hop on here and really share with you guys what I've been doing in my business. My official title is National Vice President and Independent Consultant. And I think the title that I wear the most proudly is the independent consultant title, because regardless of what level you're at, we are always independent consultants in our business, and we are working this business, from the front line every single day of our life, and that's what we do. So a little bit about my sponsoring history. I've been with the company for 9 years, and I don't think I've ever sponsored more than 6 new in any given month. So there were many years that I didn't even sponsor one new in my business. I remember when I promoted to region within 2 years of being in the business, I wasn't sponsoring anymore. I was just working with my team, and I was working real deep, and that's great. But it doesn't, really, it isn't really how we are supposed to work. We are always supposed to put time into our own business. And that is something that I recognized pretty strongly when I was a maintaining region for 7 years, and I really wanted to move to that next level, being RVP, being able to help promote someone. And I realized that I had to do so much more on my own. I had to become uncomfortable. It is so much easier helping people sponsor when you're launching someone. It's actually not a bad gig to be a sponsor of someone, because it's not your network. You're not emotionally attached to the result. You're there to serve and pour into. And I find it's often easier helping someone else launch versus launching yourself versus doing your own activity. So it was something that I struggled with for years. And in January 2017, I decided that I was going to be the best independent consultant on my team. I was not going to be attached to growing from region to executive region to nation. I was just going to focus on doing what I need to do as an independent consultant, and that's what I did. So I, very early on in my business, I was introduced to the author Sinek. And if you guys have never heard of him, if you have never read the book Start With Why, then I'm going to encourage you to please go and buy that book, download the book. If that's something financially you can't afford, simply go to YouTube, type in TED Talks, type in Simon Sinek, Start With Why, and listen to it. It absolutely transformed how I did my business. So I remember, after reading that book, I was so excited after reading the book that I think I must have called. I do crazy things like that. So when inspiration hits me in the middle of the night, I'm either, just, shaking my husband and saying, Omar, get up, I have an idea. And he's had to put up with that for 18 years. Bless him. But I'll do that. In a case where it's Arbonne related, I will literally text my team and I'll be like, get over to my house. And I think Simon Sinek, when I read the book, when I finished it, I made them come over like at midnight. And I was like, you guys got to come because I understand now why we share our I story. I came from a corporate recruiting background. I owned my own recruiting firm. And when I was introduced to the concept of sharing your why, and I'm going to get to the good stuff, but when I was introduced to that, I'll be very honest with you, I thought it was so cheesy. I was like, who shares their why and who cares? Like, it just didn't seem right to me. And so I would share it, but I would like, whisper, share it, and like quickly go and let me tell you about Arbonne. It's vegan and it's this and it's that. And I was actually, I just found it embarrassing to get up and share your why, to be very honest, because it's nothing that I saw in the Fortune 100 and 500 companies that I dealt with. Like, no one shares their why. But after reading the book, I understood why. And I am going to give you a little bit of Simon Sinek and start with why, because if I don't give you that background, you won't understand how I was able to sponsor 14U when in 9 years, I've never hit that mark. Okay? So Simon Sinek in the book, he talks about starting with your why, and he talks about businesses. He talks about, when you see most business owners, even business advertisements, you are shown a picture of what people do, maybe how they do it, what they have. But the thing is that the brain is basically, there are two parts of the brain that receives information. One part of the brain that Simon Sinek talks about is your neocortex. The neocortex part of your brain is responsible for receiving all kinds of facts and information. So when we get excited about this Arbonne opportunity and we start talking to people and saying, I got to tell you about this thing that I'm doing. It's a vegan certified company. It's earth friendly and it's gluten free and it has all these amazing products. We have the brightening line and the nutrition line. And when you share all that information, you have essentially lost them, because the neocortex can receive facts and information, but the neocortex cannot make decisions. It doesn't have a decision-making capability. The part of the brain that receives information and can make decisions is the limbic part of your brain. So the limbic part of your brain is responsible for that gut feeling and emotions. And that is the part of the brain that decides. So when you start with why you do what you do, rather than what you do and how you do it and what you have, you are going to appeal to the part of the brain that actually decides. And the reason why I was so excited when I read this book back then was that I would start with facts and information, because I thought, as a Muslim woman from the South Asian community, talking about a product that's vegan certified, so essentially halal, was a huge deal. And so I would lead with that. And every single time I led with facts and information and I expected people to jump on board, they'd be like, Rima, that's so great for you. And I'm really excited for you. Let me know how it goes. And that was happening so much. And I couldn't wrap my head around it, because in my head, I was, I was a successful entrepreneur prior to Arbonne. I speak well. I was passionate. So why aren't they buying or joining me? Hi, Jasmeet. And so it just perplexed me. And when I read this book, I said, okay, now I understand. I understand that I'm not connecting with the part of the brain that decides. Okay. So now, knowing that, Simon Sinek gives an example of Dell computers and Apple. And he asks us in the book, what operating system do you think is more advanced? Is it the Apple system or is it the Dell? And at the time that he wrote, it was the Dell operating system that was more advanced, but every single response was Apple. And the reason why everyone responded as Apple, because Dell essentially sold you a computer, whereas Apple sells you a lifestyle. So Apple shares with you why they do what they do versus what they do. Now, even if you look at Arbonne and where we are right now with the group Rocher family, the Rocher family is really big on why they're doing what they're doing. They believe in sustainability. They believe in the planet. They believe in people. They believe in also making profits, but they have a vision and they share their why with you. And I think that's why the Rocher brand has done so well. And I also feel that this is why we are seeing the growth that we are seeing under Jean David's leadership, because he actually starts with the gut. He starts with that why, and that's why we're all connected. Hello, Uzma. Assalamu alaikum. So this is the thing. So guys, what I realized is that we have all become very good in sharing our why at group presentation, at launches, and things like that. So we have become very good at that because we are trained as Arbonne Independent consultants to start with your I story, to with your why, with your 30-second commercial. And it is the part of our entire presentation that is actually going to make that connection to the part of the brain that makes decisions. So when I wanted to sponsor 14U, it was actually the 28th of August, and there are 31 days in August. And on the 28th, I saw that I had only sponsored 3 new. I had also seen within my nation that we had an incentive out in Canada, Get Me to the Canadian National Conference incentive, Get Me to CNTC. And I saw so many people within my nation earning the 6 new to get them to CNTC. And I thought, I have around 18 or 19 people in my nation that's earning this incentive. What kind of leader am I if I don't lead by example and I don't do this myself? So on the 28th of August, I decided I was going to sponsor 20 new. I was at 3 new and I was going to sponsor 20 new, and that's what I set out to do. What I realized is that at that time in the month, going and starting a new relationship, a new exposure, it is risky because there is a cycle of introducing the opportunity, following up with them, answering some of their, hesitations and objections, taking them to another exposure, and then maybe getting some sort of result. And I knew I didn't have that time. So the time that I had was to go back to anyone that I had introduced Arbonne to, the Arbonne opportunity or the 30-day healthy living, and to follow up with them. And I started going back from June, July, up to present day, August 28th. And what I realized with all of my introductions via Messenger, because come on, 28th, how many people could I meet in person? I had to do this online. So when I went back to my Messenger and I looked at over 150 messages that I had sent in the last 2 to 3 months, every single message that resulted in no result was because I started with what I do, what the 30-day healthy living is, what the special is with regards to the RE9 brightening line, and everything that I shared in writing in those Messenger messages started with the what and the how, and rather than the why. And I thought to myself, if I am going to have any kind of impact, if I am going to get the results that I desire to get from the 20 new that I wanted to do, I would have to start with my why, even when I'm prospecting online or following up online. So what I started doing with those 150 messages, I basically wanted to follow up. I would say 60% of them were for the 30-day healthy living, 40% of them were with the business opportunity. And the 60% with the healthy living, there was some interest, and then communications fell off, and I realized that the message I had sent was a very generic message. There was nothing personal about it. There was nothing that would connect that random person with me and feel some sort of connection, and it wasn't authentic. It was just like a typical 30-day healthy living kind of script note message that you send out. And so it wasn't really me. So when I went back to those healthy living people, I realized a truth. I had always hesitated with the 30-day healthy living program because I am someone who is still overweight. Now, I did do the 30-day healthy living program 5 years ago after my 3rd child turned 1. I was 120 pounds overweight. I did lose 65 pounds. That 65 pounds, I have not gained again, but I'm not slim and fit, so I didn't feel comfortable promoting the 30-day healthy living because I had people in my community say, well, if you're trying to get me to lose weight and you're actually bigger than me, why am I going to do it? So I guess I was just fearful of that type of comment, which is a truth, but I was fearful of that. So I stayed away and I didn't do the follow-up. So this time I sat with myself and I said, what is true and authentic about the 30-day healthy living for me? So being the person that I am, with the extra weight that I carry, what has Arbonne 30 done in my life that it's so funny. I'm getting all the emojis. I'm getting angry, happy, laughy, love, like. Okay, so I thought to myself, what has the Arbonne 30 done for me? So first of all, I'm a testament of the product line because I've kept the 65 pounds off, no rebound weight gain. Number two, the energy that I have on the 30-day healthy living with the shakes and the fizz and the digestion plus, that type of energy when I don't take it, and I've been traveling quite a bit and I haven't been regular and I feel not as good or energetic as I usually am. So that is a truth. The other thing that I felt was that with the 30-day healthy living program, I can truly talk about how it's impacted me. And if I can share why I do what I do, then hopefully I'll get results. So with that 60% of healthy day living, I started the follow-up with something like this. And I said, I would start with, so let's take the name Amanda. So I would say, hi, Amanda, this is Rima with Arbonne, circling back again. Just wanted to connect with you. I wanted to share with you why I'm so passionate about the 30-day healthy living program. A little bit about myself. I'm someone who was overweight pretty much most of my life. And 5 years ago, I found myself 120 pounds heavier. And my daughter had just turned 1. I realized I didn't feel good, I didn't look good, and I needed to do something. I went on the 30-day healthy living program for 5 months, and I lost 65 pounds, which I've maintained for 5 years. And even though I have more weight to lose, the energy that I feel is incredible. I no longer go through the deep bouts of depression that I typically go through, and I'm not as tired. I sleep better, I have better digestion, and the joint pain that I suffered from is now gone. I just wanted to know if this is something that you might be open to considering, as we have a group starting at this date. What's interesting, out of the 60% of people that I followed up with, I would say every single one of them responded. Every single one of them, maybe 1 or 2 didn't, but every one responded. Most of them wanted to know more information. And that's when I sent them facts. That's when I would send Dr. Tanda Cook's quick video, or I would send, a 1-page, snapshot of the program. And that's when I sent the facts and the information. Out of that 60% of follow-ups, from August 28th to the 31st, I sponsored, I think, 9 more people. So I was at 3 and I sponsored 9 people for the 30-day healthy living program. What's incredible is that for the 40% of business outreach outs that I did the same thing. I reached out to them for a follow-up. I said, hi, this is Rima circling back again. And I just wanted to share some wonderful news. I've promoted to the top level of our company, and I'm really excited about it. What's really great about the effort that I put in this business, that it allows me to be a present mom for my 3 kids, the wife that I want to be for my husband, and be the community member that I want to be locally. It's something that I'm really passionate about. I love doing what I do, helping others create a life of their design, and also to help pay that forward to others. Would this be something that you're open to discuss? Or is this something that you would be open to? Again, it was starting with the why. So I feel that I was connecting with, again, the limbic part of the brain. Out of that 40% for the business, I must have had an 80% response rate, and 3 people joined from August 28th to the 31st. So I ended up with 14 new that month, and 11 of those new came 28th, 29th, 30th, and 31st. Out of those 14 new in that month, 2 people I met belly to belly for coffee dates. One of them I did a drop off for. One of them I did a coffee date and then brought them to a DA. And then we did a phone call and they signed up. So there were 2 or 3 exposures with the people that I met in person. And with the others, it was simply starting with my why. So when you talk about 30-day healthy living, I didn't feel it was necessary for me to go into my story about time freedom and being with the kids, because that's not why they were connecting with me. But I did feel that it was necessary for me to talk about why the program, why the Arbonne 30. And then I realized with all the social media stuff that's going on, I mean, our millennials like Annie Graft and Samantha Drayling and Peyton and Avery and all of them, Alyssa, I mean, they inspire me. They are incredible. And they have this thing with the technology, but I'm 44. I didn't grow up with this. And so it is more difficult for me to do this online than I would think someone from a younger generation. But what I realized is that when you start with your why you do what you do, or why are you recommending the program, you know, why are you recommending the business, and relate that back to yourself, your results are going to be much better. And just because it's social media and it's not face-to-face, just because it's a text or it's a written message, it doesn't mean that you don't start with why you're doing what you're doing, right? And what do we do when we have to talk about 30 days? Hey, I'm starting my 30-day healthy living, and you know what? It's 40% off. It's no sign-up fee, blah, blah, blah. So this month we have a huge advantage that Arbonne has given us, and they always give us amazing things, but they've given us this clean swap box. They've given us, and I had to learn from millennials that this clean swap idea is like, it's a thing. It's trending on social media. So I just learned that from Executive National Vice President Laura Murphy today. And I thought, okay, that's neat, because I wasn't quite sure how the whole clean swap thing worked, but it is on trend to what's happening out there. You know, getting rid of your dirty products and bringing in clean ones. We have this clean swap product going on. We have the zero sign up. So if you guys are going to go out there now and build your business and go quickly and follow up with people and say, hey, we have zero sign up fee, come and join us, I don't think you're going to get the results that you're looking for. I think if that message you send to them starts with why you're doing what you're doing, I truly believe that I think your results will be better, because you don't want someone to join Arbonne just because it's a zero sign-up fee. You want them to be inspired to be a consumer of the products. You want to inspire them to be a passionate independent consultant like we are. That's what you want. So even with the clean swap thing, and a box, which was given, which is just so fantastic. You want to talk about why. Why is it important for people to swap ingredients? Share a little bit of that story of why. That you're someone, like for me, I can honestly say that prior to joining Arbonne, I wasn't aware of what dirty ingredients were and how that could have an effect on the body. I wasn't aware of that. The fact that anything you put on your skin absorbs into your bloodstream. And when I learned that fact, and that it is an unregulated industry in North America, I wanted to make sure that my kids were safe. I wanted to make sure that I was safe. Having someone who's lost a beautiful parent to cancer, having gone through fertility issues myself, I wanted to make sure that I was using safe products. And I mean, I would want to share something personal about why I think clean swap is a great idea, and then I'm going to introduce the box, right? So you're going to connect with the limbic part of the brain, the part of the brain that makes decisions. Same thing now with the zero sign up. It's a zero sign up. So why should a preferred client go for the zero sign up? So it might be something simple as, you know what, I know that you've been on the fence of buying our products, and I can tell you that, switching my brand has been so great for me. It's really helped me feel good about myself. It's given me the energy that I desire. I'm really grateful that my skin and my energy is, whatever it is, like it's got to be something that is pertaining to why you're using the products. And then you can say, just wanted to share with you, we have an amazing special happening right now, just for this month. You can become a preferred client with a minimum order for a zero sign-up fee. Would that be something that you're open to? For an independent consultant, trying to introduce someone to, oh, thank you, Amanda. I just saw this comment. Thank you. So for an independent consultant now, if you're choosing to use messaging and texting, and I'm focusing on messaging and texting because that's where part of our business is going. It is still very much belly to belly, but we are also utilizing social media. And I feel that we leave out the why in texting and messaging. So even when you're prospecting now a consultant, you're not going to go and say, hey, we have a zero sign-up fee and spend this and buy this. And they're going to be like, yeah, great, I'll get back to you. But what you're going to say is that, you know what, I'm really excited about something special that Arbonne has done for us. This is a company that is filled with integrity, and I wake up every day so grateful to be in business for myself, but not by myself. I don't even know what my life would look like if I didn't say yes to Arbonne 3 years ago or 9 years ago. It's really allowed me to put my kids first. It's allowed me to travel with no deadline. And it's allowed me to give back and be present in my community for the things that are important to me. And I know we had talked about some of the things that are important to you, the values that are important to you. And I just wanted to let you know the special we have right now is with a minimum order, your independent consultant sign-up fee is actually waived. Is that something that you would be open to discussing? That is going to be received much better than a generic copy and paste message that talks about the discount and the fee waiver and spend this much and get that. And so I'm hoping that, and if you have any questions, just ask, because I'm just going to scroll down over here. Thank you, Nina. Thank you, Jasmeet. Okay, you guys are so cute. Honestly, you feel like you feel so much love here. Okay, it makes sense. So any questions, let me know before I sign off. But guys, that's how I sponsored 14 New. I had made a commitment to sponsor 30 New in September. And you know what, with the training that I delivered at CNTC and then having my teammates doing that, a little bit of adjustment with the kids going back to school, and these are all excuses as to why I didn't do what I said I was going to do, but I still had a good sponsoring number, and I think I ended up at 7 or 8, which again is above my average, so I think I'm a winner. And I am going to try, be kind to yourself. You know, if you don't reach your goal, but you're still ahead, you know, than what you typically used to do, you have to love yourself and be grateful for that. So this month I've made a goal again to go for 30 New, and it doesn't matter the how or the what, right? It doesn't matter about the how and the what. You just have to know why you're doing it and then go for it. So that's it for today. I don't want to keep this too long. It's already gone long enough, and people tend to tune out after a little while. So, oops. So basically, that's it. That's it for tonight. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this helped. Please do go get one of my favorite authors, Simon Sinek. I had an opportunity to meet him at an executive forum here in Toronto a few years ago, I think a couple of years ago, and I absolutely love what he stands for and the knowledge that he brings. So please do go download the book, buy the book, or if that's not something financially feasible, go to YouTube, type in TED Talks, Simon Sinek, start with why, and start watching those online videos. Okay, take care, everyone. Have a wonderful night.